Michael, it's so awesome that you're in magic hour for me right
No,
now
I
by
am.
the
I'm
looks of
giving you
things.
the magic hour. You got magic hour. Hang on, I'm readjusting. I gotta see my monitor. I like to look at myself when I'm shooting myself, right? I'm here by myself. You're at my house in Miami, okay? So
Man,
look, I'm giving myself the golden light right there, huh? Look at that, huh?
stunning,
That is pro
stunning.
shit. That's pro shit.
Well, firstly, I'm Blake Howard. We do a podcast, a series called One Heat Minute Productions. We
Uh-huh.
started out talking about heat, and inadvertently in our recent show, we actually do a show called Miami Nice about Miami Vice, the film. We've been talking a lot about you
Really?
because your films feel like they're in a direct dialogue with everything. That's me.
Yeah,
Feel
I
like
know.
they're in a direct. They feel like they're in a direct dialogue with everything that you do in action filmmaking. So it's an honor to talk to you for starters.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
I loved Ambulance. Ambulance rocked. It felt like that great moment in Heat where Dennis Haysbert gets asked by Robert De Niro, "You've got to make a choice right here and now. Come and drive for me in this heist." Except stretched out for 2 hours,
Right.
piled on like a
Yeah.
swarm. I just want to talk to you about what were the things that inspired you to really take this and tackle it, because I feel like it's definitely in your wheelhouse, this kind of action cinema, but this particular moral quandary was something that really resonated for me, and I was wondering if
Yeah.
that was the genesis for you.
It's interesting. I just got through my European tour, and then a lot of reporters are saying, I used to do these pro-American movies, rah rah. And when you look at Pain and Gain, it's the narcissism. It's kind of going for the American dream in all the wrong ways. And then you look at 13 Hours. It's really shows a failed America. They're not there to help you, and they're not going to go behind enemy lines. They say it, but they don't really mean it. Um, uh, and this one is like the luster has come off America, and
Yes.
this is where you're weirdly sympathizing with the criminals. You've got a military guy that was screwed over, and he's trying to save his wife. He must get her surgery, and insurance has said no. It's a life saving surgery. So there is a lot of moral quandary. But and Asa, she's manipulating. She's a paramedic as a hostage taker. She's trying to save a guy's life as she's got a gun on her head, and she has to manipulate the whole situation. And she starts to care for one of the criminals, and it was a very interesting role, feeling vulnerable but also tough.
Yes.
Um, and I like doing this all in a little box.
Yeah.
It's like a Das Boat, and I wanted to do something that was all about tension. I've done enough action to last me a lifetime, but the tension was what I really wanted to focus on.
I think it's a really like great tonal achievement, because I think you said it in so many movies. It's a great balance to strike where you're kind of with the crooks and you're also with the good guys and balancing that. But one of the things that struck me right off was like the militarization of the police is scary. And like those opening heist scenes that you do are some of the most frightening I think I've ever seen you, because when you come out in a heist movie and the police are there, it's like, oh, usually the tactical advantage is with your bad guys, with your crooks. And so if you're going with the cops, it's like they're always outnumbered or outmatched. And just right from the get-go, when you see this tactical advantage, I was just like, whoa. And then you manage to modulate that tone between those characters for the rest of the flick. And I was just like, there is a great dialogue here, and it's a balancing act. And even though you're doing it inside this little box and outside, I was just like, wow, this is really, I wondered if that was part of your intent, because I felt
Well,
it
here's
along
the
that
thing.
ride.
I always remember, I'm the first person to ever work with United States SEALs in the Rock.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where I really learned, wow. When I said, how would you take, when you're breaking into the Rock, what would you do? You're in the cistern, it's a water thing, they come up. I said,
Yes.
show me what you do. And they had these black stripes on their face. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. Makeup didn't do it. They did it. This is what we do. Three guys come up with guns pointed, deadly silent. And I'm like, that is cool. I am shooting that. And you can't have an actor do that. It's only people that do this for a living.
Yes.
And I was fortunate enough during the pandemic, I had 50 real officers in this movie. So basically, every cop you're seeing, every SWAT sniper, the undercover guys, there's a few actors mixed in, but they're all real. So I got real tactical stuff, and this is how it goes down. I mean, I had a young producer. He said, "I'll just get some SWAT extras," and I'm like, "You know how long it takes to make them look real?" And I go to the SWAT team, the LA SWAT team. I'm like, all right, show me how you take the ambulance when this happens. And they're like, all right, ready, go, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, okay, let's roll, because it's pro shit. You know.
Well, look, I know you said Dust Boot's a huge influence on this one, but what I kind of loved is this movie has the most direct dialogue with your own stuff. Like, there's something so rad about someone quoting The Rock to a character in this movie. And I thought, that is you. You might be having fun with the explosions and the technical, but you were having a ball in that moment. Surely. That was super fun.
Oh, I mean, Sean had passed away. Sean Connery was a huge influence in my life. He was a director, eater, killer. All right. But he with me sort of took me under his wing, but he was a tough love guy. He never told me he liked me, but I could just see him, a little wry smile he had. Okay. And he had passed away, and I'm like, I always hear that these kids quote my movies, and they can quote them better than I can. So we put some of this stuff in. I think it's funny. We were going to make fun of Dwayne Johnson. I'm friends with him, and some of the younger generation doesn't know The Rock, which is one of the old-fashioned action movies that still stands the test of time. Anyway, so yes, I was having fun. It was a fun movie in that it's very fastly shot, 38 days, and I'm right there with the camera. We're doing 120 shots a day. A normal movie shoots about 25 a day. So, but it's called the Bayhem kind of method. I mean, I did not invent that word. I'm not quoting my name, but my crew uses, okay, this is Bayhem. I want to experience Bayhem. Actors will say it to me, I want to experience this Bayhem. And I'm like, that just sounds so lame. But I think they learned it in a film dictionary, because literally, I think there's a term in the film dictionary, Bayhem.
Well, that's what I wanted to say is your films are so orchestrated, even though like you have to have an amazing discipline to get that many shots off. But one of the coolest stories I've heard in the research so far is, that amazing iconic LA River shot, which is now like the money shot of a couple of the trailers of the film, with Jake hanging out of the window and the helicopters swarming, and get those healers out of here. Right. It was like, Jake was like, we lost another shot that day. And Michael was like, I got 10 minutes in the LA River. I've got these healers here. Like, let's go. And you guys orchestrated that shot. And I just wondered, like, that's a great misnomer about your career, I guess, in the orchestration, is that you don't have this improvisational kind of ability. But I think that I want to talk to you about that. Like, how do you have the confidence now? Is it just experience that you go, all right, I'm just going to go for it. Here's an opportunity. I've got to strike while the iron's hot.
That's 100% misnomer about not orchestrating, because I am a conductor out there.
Yes.
I work with some of the best people in the stunt world. I design my own stunts. But that is my skill as a director. I'm a general out there. You're there, you're there, you're there, you're there. Do.
Yes.
I kind of AD my own movies. I use my voice a lot, because when people listen on the radio, it turns into white noise. And when you hear your voice and everyone's hearing you, and it's safety issues, you got to be really serious. But I'm able to accomplish a lot, and you get real stuff. And like, Jake has never had a helicopter pass him, but it's one of the best helicopter pilots in the world. I'm like, Jake, he's going to come about 10 feet from you. All right. Yaya, I don't know if you can say this, but Yaya's driving the ambulance, and 2 helikilos are right on his ass. I mean, they were right next to him. And he goes, Mike, this is the craziest shit I've ever done. Just keep driving, Yaya. Keep your eyes straight. 55. And that was a scene that I wrote in my house, like, and we shot it in like 2 hours.
Wow.
And you can't do that if you're not an orchestrator.
Yes. Yeah, I suppose that's the balance, right? You strike the orchestration, so if there is something that happens, you can change a shot, you can do what you need to do. That's amazing. I wanted to ask, I think there is also, we talked about misnomers. I think there is a misnomer, because I think if there's anything that your entire career, your body of work does, it is in direct dialogue with like concepts of America. And I think the military has been a huge theme all the way up to 13 days, so 13 hours rather. But that's what I loved about this, is where it feels almost like this is domestic warfare. Like, this is newfound domestic warfare that you're covering in LA. And I wondered, like, what was it about LA that brought you back? What was it about the city? What was it about the landscape that made you anchor this movie here?
Well, like I grew up in LA. It was beautiful. It still has a lot of shine and sheen, but it's got a seedy side and an underbelly.
Yes.
Um, and I had not shot there in about 10 years. I live mostly in Miami, and I, I had not seen an LA movie, like a kick-ass use in LA in a while. And it was kind of like romantic to me growing up as a film director and seeing some of those To Live and Die in LA or Heat or this one literally it is accurate. The streets they're on and where they're going, and it's completely accurate. So, um, but wait, what was the question again? Why did
No, yeah. Why was it like? Why was it there? But if it's that romance, you wanted to do a kick-ass movie. I think
yeah.
that's more than enough. I want to talk to you about one actor who I think is having the absolute most fun, and it's not Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie. Garret Dillahunt. Now, he is having some of the most fun in the movie, and obviously you guys are battling through COVID, and I want to say that the movie doesn't look like a COVID movie at all. It feels like a movie that was shot pre-COVID times. But tell me about how much fun, because he feels like a Michael Bay guy. Like, as soon as I saw him on screen, I'm like, oh man, I'm in for Bay with Garret Dillahunt.
I'm going to tell you this is the first shot with Garret. It's literally. Thank God I've been through so many wars as a director. Just shooting so much and just having the skill of like when you are screwed and Mother Nature is dropping the sunball. And I literally was never coming back to this Banks scenario where it's blocked up. The city said you can't get it ever again. This is it. I had literally 19 minutes left, and I had a 220-pound Mastiff dog in the car, and I had to shove him in the car, and he's sticking his head out. He's like. Mike, what the fuck? I can't fit in this car. He's 217 pounds. He's huge. All right. And Garrett's like, I had to set up all the cops. I go to my DP. We are so screwed, dude. We are fucked. I don't know. You might have to all this. Okay. I said, just grab a camera. We got to shoot. And Garrett goes, we got a rehearsal. I said, no, dude, you don't. We got to start now. All right. And you've got real cops. They're not actors. The guys you're talking to, there's a couple actors. The rest are all real cops. So you better go. And but he's a fantastic actor, and he's very grounded. He's very real. But he is. If you say my guy, yeah, we want to work together.
He's one of yours. He feels like one of yours. Look, Michael, I've been asked to wrap. This has been such a treat to talk to you. Congratulations on the flick. I had a great time, and getting you in Magic Hour even better.
Oh, I know. Now it's going. The sunball.
Now it's going. The sunball went down. They beat us. All right, take it easy, man. Thank you so much.